Lithium polymer cells like this, they're kind of fragile, they don't have the best longevity, and they're about twice as expensive to produce as lithium ion cells. So they're not very popular in use for things like electric cars, but they can just dump out the charge, so they are popular for use in RC cars, drones, those little lithium jumper packs that you can get to jump your car, things like that. And since this pack was built for an electric drag racer, the cost and the longevity concerns didn't matter. They just needed a smallish battery pack that can dump current into a motor for about 20 seconds at a time. Here's something interesting. This little bank here is 12P12S. And if I read the voltage of the whole thing, it's 35.8 volts. If I read one of these bank of 12 cells, 3.8 volts. But this pack over here, this bank of 12 cells, is somehow reading 0 volts. I don't understand how it's possible. All 12 of these cells are literally completely dead. I've never seen that before. And there's several things over here that are also the same way, reading completely nothing. Well, that one's reading a volt. This one 0? No. That one's 0.4 of a volt between 12 cells.
This sounds dangerous.
At home. I'm outside now. Both of these pouches are reading 0 volts, and this one's especially puffy. So I wanted to see what happens when I cut it open. Ooh.
You are an asshole.
It's not liking that. Oh, look, you can see all the layers stacked up in there.
Howtobeanasshole.com.
Layers. In the jelly roll cell, this would be all wrapped up, and in a pouch cell, it's just sandwiched on top of each other. Probably because this was completely discharged. Nothing exciting happened in the form of a fire. That wasn't very interesting. So I went and got this cell, which is very corroded, so I can't use it, but it's reading 3.7 volts. So it might do something interesting when I... Didn't do anything. How disappointing. I couldn't even get them to catch on fire like good battery cells. Now for some more disappointing news. That 8,000 amp number I told you at the beginning, when the guy told me that, I didn't think about it. I just thought, wow. But since then, I have thought about it, and I've done some math. 8,000 amps at 355 volts is 2.84 megawatts of power. To put that in perspective, that's enough power to drive a Tesla Model S Plaid. And 3 Rivians at the same time. This pack is mighty powerful. I don't think it's quite that powerful. So how much power can this battery pack actually generate? Well, I don't know. I don't have enough information. The only information I have on these cells is the label that's stuck to the side, the label that I can actually show you. It says 25C, 3.7 volts, and a URL that doesn't work anymore. I've tried. Now, if you're not familiar with what C rating is, it's a cell's ability to charge or discharge in terms of its capacity. For instance, if you have a cell with a capacity of 2 amp hours and a 25C rating, that means that cell can output 50 amps. Pretty simple. Now, these say 25C on the side, but what's missing is the capacity, so that C rating is pretty meaningless to me. If I had to guess, now I have tested a couple of these cells, but we'll get to that in a second, but if I had to guess what the capacity of these cells was, I would say probably 10 amp hours, give or take, and given 10 amp hours and a 25C rating, that would put, and 12 in parallel, that would put the dischargeability of this whole pack at 3,000 amps times 355. That is just a bit over 1 megawatt of power, with the huge assumption that these are actually 10 amp hour cells, which again, I have no idea. But that's just guessing.
1 megawatt, that's dangerous. That's a lot of power.
Anymore, and it's, well, it's shot. As an example, here's 2 cells that have converted themselves to airbags. Quite puffy. We'll take these outside in a minute and poke at them and see what happens. I also charged up and capacity tested 3 different cells that are here in front of me. I charged them up to 4.2 volts and then discharged them down to 3 volts for the capacity test. The best result was right here, 4.38 amp hours. Now this cell does have a little bit of corrosion on it, but I believe that's not from the cell itself, it's from an adjacent cell. These other 2 do have corrosion on them, and the corrosion is from their cells. And I got 1.39 amp hours out of this one, and a paltry single amp hour out of this one. This battery pack is shot. The vast majority of the cells in here are either corroded, puffy, or below 3 volts, which in a LiPo is a death sentence. I'm sure there's a few good LiPos in here, but it's not really worth sorting through this pack to find the good ones. It's quite windy outside, so I moved my battery testing indoors, complete with fume extractor that happens to double as a Harbor Freight dust collector. Is this a safe setup?
No.
Sure.
No.
This is probably not as the rest envisioned his merch being used. I'm so disappointed. Now this one I just took off the charger. Oh, it's doing something. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Yeah, a little fire.
Well, that was almost interesting. These things are significantly harder to make due to the exploding than I would have guessed. It was such a old. Now I've got a lot of batteries to recycle. I have to figure out where to do that. The place that I know to take them to is the recycling bin at the entrance of Home Depot. I'm pretty sure they don't want me dumping a half a megawatt of potential energy into one of those bins, so I'm going to have to find an alternative. Did I waste my time driving all the way to Oklahoma to pick up a dead battery pack? No. I got to try Whataburger for the first time, and it was all right, I guess. And in doing this, I learned a lot about batteries, and I know now for sure this won't work for my project, or anything. But I do have a better idea of what sort of batteries I need for my project. Speaking of which, I haven't told you what this project is. What on earth do I need 900 kilowatts for? Well, I'm really excited about this. I'm building...
You're not going to tell me.